San Bernardino, Orlando, Las Vegas, Sutherland Springs, some of the recent cities to share a grim commonality: mass shootings.
The latest of which actually fell on the anniversary of another deadly day in our history that for some may seem like a distant memory in the wake of what's happened since.
Our Shelby Danielson joins us with a story tonight you'll see only on First Coast News. Shelby.
Well, 11 days ago, 26 people were killed in a church, marking the second mass shooting to happen on the same date in the same state. Because on November 5th, 2009, 13 people were killed on a U.S. Army post in Texas, Fort Hood, the first of two shootings at that military post. Patrick Ziegler was in the room with the shooter that November day 8 years ago. Patrick Ziegler doesn't blame bad luck.
It was just kind of one of those things where it didn't seem like a coincidence that I was there that day.
He'd been on the Texas military post for a little over a week after serving in Iraq and being promoted to staff sergeant. He was scheduled to lead his own troop to Afghanistan.
I was sitting there minding my own business, and Dr. Hassan stood up and yelled Allah Akbar at the top of his lungs, and he turned around and started shooting right here in the side of my head. It was a 5.7 millimeter hollow point bullet that exploded into my head. There was metal and bone fragments that entered my brain.
He tried to crawl away but was shot 3 more times.
Honestly, I think I was the only one that thought I was going to survive. Pretty much everybody else was waiting for me to expire.
20% of his brain was removed to save his life.
I mean, I think the prognosis at the beginning was pretty dark, as far as I wasn't never going to walk again.
It was a prognosis he continues to defy today.
Hey there.
8 years later,
Yeah, you got to watch me.
Ziegler is back in his home state of Florida, undergoing treatments in a hypobaric chamber in Delray Beach. 75 minutes, twice a day, 40 sessions, as it pumps 100% oxygen into his brain.
This will never come back. I mean, that's just tissue that's completely been removed, so you can actually see how much is missing.
Alex Cruz is the reason Ziegler can get those treatments.
So we've done his pre-scan, and I'm excited to see what his post-scan is going to look like.
Cruz's office has one of 4 3D SPECT imaging machines in the state, able to detect changes in the brain beyond the capability of a CAT scan or MRI. He founded the 22 Project when he discovered he could use that technology to help veterans. His nonprofit funds their therapy here.
Patrick is pretty drastic.
It's shocking to see what he went through and how courageous he's been in rebuilding his life.
22 Project board member Peter Anderson says not enough is done to help veterans, so he also stepped up.
I've never been in battle. I can't fathom what that would be like.
The 22 Project hopes the more men and women they can get in here to get treated, the more insurance companies and the VA will take notice of the need of this life-altering measure for veterans like Patrick.
Everybody said it would take about a week or so to start feeling it, and yep. It's gonna be great.
It's another experience he says was meant to be.
It's just like I said, like I was supposed to be there that day. It's like not a coincidence. I was standing in line for a beer at the Daytona International Speedway.
That's where he met another veteran who introduced him to Cruz. He believes nothing has happened by accident.
A lot of people say I was in the wrong place at the wrong time, but I always say I was in the right place at the wrong time.
He has an amazing story. An estimated 22 veterans take their lives every day. The 22 Project hopes to combat that by continuing to help veterans like Patrick Ziegler get their lives back. Now we'll check back in with him when he gets his results back at the end of the month. First Coast News at 6 continues right after this quick break.